we haven't spoken to you before, we obviously need to get your point of view before the decision's made. So,
But you don't play the world tomorrow, even though nobody else has reported it yet.
Hi, it's Fiona Tarrant from the Oxford Mail here.
Hello, News Desk.
BBC News for Oxfordshire. I'm Alison Booker. Heart surgeons at Oxford's John Radcliffe Hospital have held...
Shall I ask you what's on the next?
It's 7 a.m. and Oxford Mail editor Chris Cowley is holding his first editorial conference of the day.
Now, could you just tell me a bit about the story we had this morning?
There's an announcement being made today by Stephen Westerby, the Oxford heart surgeon, that carried out at the John Radcliffe Hospital the first operation on a baby, keeping it alive with an artificial heart before giving it a successful transplant surgery. And we've got a couple of pieces where we watched the World Cup with people in church in North Oxford. She-male feature is colour on page 10, and that's on a granny who's into painting.
Okay. Well, we'll splash on the baby being kept alive by the man-made heart. Right, thanks very much.
It's been used to save a baby at the John Radcliffe.
Health reporter Paul Harris is briefed about the heart operation. The story broke this morning in a national newspaper.
It won't be messy.
I've just walked in. I've got to find out what sort of artificial heart it is, get hold of the baby, find out who she is, get hold of the surgeon and get an interview with him to find out the technique he's using. Is it the first technique ever? How complicated it was? And find out how the baby is now.
Over at the women's desk, Fiona Tarrant is setting up an interview.
Hello? Oh, hello, is that Mary?
Yes.
Oh, Mary, hi, it's Fiona Tarrant from the Oxford Mail here.
Oh, right.
Hello. Mary, I was just ringing because following on from the conversation we had at the Gliding Club the other day, I understand there's an interesting story behind your painting that's been accepted by the Guild of Aviation Art.
Ah.
And I wonder whether I can come and have a chat with you about it.
Yeah, sure.
The story I'm doing today has come about from a conversation I had with a fellow pilot at the Gliding Club. Following a painting competition, her granddaughter was presented with a set of paints and a book on how to paint. And she was just helping her granddaughter out, as any grandmother would, and found she was quite good at it. And this is less than 6 months ago. And the lady in her 60s has had a painting accepted by the Guild of Aviation Art, which is a great honour.
Okay, as part of our World Cup coverage today, we want to go to St Andrew's Church in Linton Road and do a nice colour piece.
Reporter Andrew French is given his assignment.
Can we get lots of quotes from people, from the vicar and from ordinary people there? Yeah, fine. Okay.
After several failed attempts, Paul manages to speak to the hospital press officer.
Hello, Paul.
Morning, Megan. We're doing this Stephen Westerby story today.
Oh, yeah.
About his the transplant, and I understand that he's going to be holding some sort of informal or formal press-style conference about it.
No, I don't know how you understand that. So what story are you running?
Well, we want to do a nice big piece about the operation and how he did it, and how long it took, and
what operation is this?
Right, it's a baby who was kept alive with an artificial heart for a week before having a transplant surgery on Sunday.
Right.
At the Radcliffe.
You've got some of your facts wrong, so do be careful.
Which facts do you mean?
Well, it's not a baby.
No, I know. It's
say baby.
a 10-year-old boy, isn't it?
Well, don't say baby.
No.
You did.
Okay. Well, it isn't going in the papers, baby. I know, but it's a 10-year-old boy. We wanted to find out, where this child is from as well, and who he is as well.
As I say, I'll be doing a press release shortly.
Right. Okay. Do you know at what sort of time, Megan?
As soon as possible.
Right. Okay, Megan. It's okay. I'm just trying to find out all the facts, so we know what to do. Okay. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
We've got this heart story. Hello, I need to change baby for boy or child. It's a 10-year-old.
In the church in North Oxford, Andrew has settled down to watch England's first 1998 World Cup game.
Reverend Coe, this must be a first for your church to be showing a World Cup game here.
Yeah, I think it is. I've
Place of worship.
Yeah, I've not been here for that long myself, but this is the first time I think the church has attempted to put on something that connects up with people's Christian faith and their interests.
Yeah.
I think in practice, I suspect people do pray for it. They get so passionate about their team that it's what they really kind of think about. But I think we had this theme last night, actually, about loving God with all your heart. And we were trying to say to people, what does it mean to do that, as well as being a really enthusiastic supporter of a particular team.
Concentrate.
Mary, hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, Fiona.
I have 16 grandchildren. And Jess, my daughter, called up. She said, guess what? Michaela's won a prize, a national prize.
Which was?
Which was this. Simply painting.
A book on simply
A book,
painting.
a video, and a set of acrylic paints. Here's lesson 1. Again.
And that's just 6 months ago, so this is where you were 6 months
This is January. That's
ago.
less than 6 months ago. At any rate, here's the magazine for gliding. And inside they had a notice about they're going to have a big exhibit of art. Aviation art.
Ah.
I sent in 4. You're allowed to send in 4. So I sent that one, that one, that one, and that one.
Oh, that's lovely. That's Didcot Power Station.
Yeah,
That's a local landmark.
Uh-huh.
And you've gone from nothing to having a painting accepted in less than 6 months.
Radcliffe Hospital, good morning.
Hello, yes. Can you put me through to the ward where you have transplant recovery, please, for children?
What? Cardiac transplant?
Yes.
Hold on. Hello, transplant, please.
Hello there. Can I speak to the ward sister, please?
Who's speaking, please?
It's Paul Harris. I'm trying to speak to the parents of a little boy from Oxford who's recently had a heart transplant.
Yeah. Paul Harris?
Sorry?
Sorry, who are you?
I'm from the Oxford Mail newspaper.
Right, I'm sorry, you have to go to our press office, so I'll put you back to switch.
Right, okay. Hang on a second. I thought I could speak directly to them.
No, you can't, because they don't want to speak to the press.
Oh, really?
They want to all go to our press office.
Oh, I see. Okay, in that case, I'll give them a call back. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Cheers, bye-bye. The parents don't want to speak to us, so I thought it'd be better and quicker to just try and get hold of them directly off the cuff by bringing them to the phone, and then just once they're on the phone, then speaking to them before they have a chance to kind of say goes to the press office. But unfortunately, the ward sisters and the nurses down there already know that the press are trying to get through, or know that the family don't want to talk, so they've been instructed by all accounts to tell us where to go, really.
I feel I've got a very responsible job. It's very important to get things right, and I do get very upset with the image of journalists, perhaps around the world, that sometimes they distort the truth. Well, I don't think that's our role. We are a local newspaper, and I think you'll find that the stories that we carry are accurate. The readers might be going through the same situation as somebody else. And so one person telling their story can help many others, and that's really what I think we're there for.
England may have scored a goal, but Andrew and photographer Damien are having a few problems persuading the Reverend Coe to have his photograph taken.
We make an effort to try and get pictures of people that are trying to do something that's pertinent to the story. And quite often people are quite reluctant to do something that they might feel is kind of a little bit daft in front of a camera or something. So you have to, sometimes you can talk them around, try and sort of explain exactly what you're trying to do. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't.
You don't have to be sort of doing keepy-ups or anything.
Yes, that's fine.
That would help us.
Okay.
Lovely. Okay.
Yep.
I'll just have a word after. Can we do it out here? A bit more light out here.
I don't think there's any problem. Damien and I were just arranging you know, the best location for him to be photographed in. I don't think there was a problem with that. He was quite happy to have his photo taken. We've just got the information through from the press office. We've finally got a fax giving details of the operation that took place. Also in the release, we've got details of a press conference as well, which is going to take place, where Stephen Westerby will be there in person, and we can ask him questions and ask him more about the operation, which we'll be going to as well.
I know most of the newspapers ran the story this morning, but I think none of them were accurate by any stretch of the imagination. And I think this is one of the nicest stories in the history of cardiac surgery. I wonder if you could show the first slide. For a child, that heart is absolutely gigantic. It should be a third of the size. We put in the artificial heart into the little boy shortly before we felt he was going to die. This is the device. It's really a fearsome sight. We pushed to try and find a heart donor. And that is the boy's chest x-ray with a new heart when he came out of the operating room. And I'm told that he is doing very well indeed right now.
I've written my story and the photographs have just arrived of Mary's paintings, of Mary herself, and also lovely ones of her granddaughter with her winning picture. And so now I'll take these, along with a printed copy of my story, through to the assistant editor to let him know that I've got the feature ready.
So we need to get them away. So we need to get them done pretty sharpish, actually.
With today's deadline rapidly approaching, Paul and photographer John are still at the hospital.
See, what's happened is, which is typical, is that we're here and we get the whole story, but we can't get pictures because other agencies, news agencies, have turned up late, like halfway through the conference, and are now interviewing him again for another quarter of an hour before we can get our pictures done. So we're now going to have to wait until it's all sorted out. Here he comes. We've got about an hour, just over an hour, to file the copy and get the pictures through. The family basically aren't releasing the details, and the hospital aren't either. We know that he's a 10-year-old boy from Reading. That's all they're prepared to say so far.
I think smiling for this one. Good, good.
Back at the office, it's full steam ahead to get the photographs and copy ready for the press.
I've been over to the subs for a sneak preview. They've stolen my intro and used it for one of the headlines. That's quite nice in a way, because it shows that you're thinking along the right lines and you're giving the subs something to play with. So I was quite pleased with that.
With all the stories now written and sub-edited, editor Chris Cowley has had an urgent call to go to the printing press.
Press should have started 10 minutes ago. We're currently a bit late. It's going to be about another half an hour before we're finally rolling. And I need to go and find out why we're so late. We're still making up plates for the paper. So I would suggest that the problem is not here, it's a further step back. It might go all the way back to editorial, but we're very late again.
Are you aware of what's happened? There's a page of the motoring supplement which Roy thought was routed on Saturday, and they've only just discovered that they haven't got it, so it's just gone through now.
It means that we'll probably be out an hour late, and we're going to lose maybe 1,000 readers today. And clearly there has been a communication breakdown. Right, it's here. We finally got it going. and they're starting to turn the speed up on the press now, as you can hear in the background, and all these papers will start hitting the streets within about 20 minutes.
Oxford Mail! Oxford Mail!
Friday night, Birmingham city centre. It's the busiest night of the week for the police. The British police have a unique reputation throughout the world for courtesy, fairness, and above all, not carrying guns. Old black and white movies have immortalised this image of the British police, the friendly Bobby on the beat.
Excuse me, officer. Can you direct me to Paddington Station? Yes, sir. Straight across the green, turn left over the Iron Bridge and you're there. Thank you very much.
But what of the police today? Do they still deserve this reputation?
Now, come on, son, move on. You ought to know better than that.
I've been a police officer for nearly 29 years, and for about 15 years I've been stationed in Birmingham. And for me, the most important aspect of being a police officer is working with the community. That community consists of a large Asian community and also a large African Caribbean community. It is very, very important that we maintain contact, because what builds up trust with those communities is contact. If they don't see the police, then they don't know the police, and they don't know what you do as a police officer, and they associate the police with a police back in the areas that originally perhaps they came from or their parents came from.
I joined the police force perhaps to put a bit of what I've taken out of the community back in to help people. Basically, I'm a uniform officer and I respond in a police vehicle to any calls that members of the public phone up about, be it be a burglary, a robbery, a shoplifter, anything. At the moment, we're just driving around on patrol, having a look at who's driving the vehicles, having a look at who's walking around. Anyone that we think is acting suspiciously, we'll obviously stop and speak to them to find out what they're doing. Anyone who we think might be driving and might not have any driving documents or might be committing road traffic offences, we'll also stop and speak to them.
We're going to visit the Guru Ravidas temple this morning, and I maintain a high degree of contact with the Guru Ravidas because in recent times they've had a large procession around the streets of Handsworth which took an awful lot of organisation. And in addition to that, they've had one or two internal problems which have needed quite a lot of police time to be spent down there discussing issues and bringing two sides together. My own personal approach, I think, is to try to be friendly with people and to try to be relaxed with people. My philosophy is that I would like to treat people the way I would want to be treated by them. And so I try very hard to maintain a professional but friendly and approachable manner. It's important to know a little bit about the historical background of people that you're actually speaking to and dealing with. Sometimes it can be quite difficult because people have different perceptions, and obviously with a different culture there comes sometimes a difference in manners and sometimes a difference in attitudes. But I think if you're professional, you have to accept that, and also accept the fact that you're the face of authority, which is not always easy for a member of the public to deal with.
The job we've just been sent to is a hold-up alarm at Lloyd's Bank at the top of this road.
And as you can see behind us, there's a police motorcyclist as well en route to the same job. You'll see him in a couple of seconds. There he goes. It's Foxtrot Zulu 21 TA TSB over.
Thanks, 2-1.
We've got here, and it appears that they've got engineers working on the system, and it's been set off in error. Just trying to confirm that at the moment.
We're just waiting now for a confirmation from the bank. It's a false alarm.
Zulu 21 Foxtrot 3.
No, it's not a problem. It's just
Yeah, it is confirmed. It's set off in error. We're all clearing. Received.
The Wesleyan Holiness Church is a church on the Soho Road, which is the main thoroughfare through Handsworth. It's a predominantly black or African Caribbean church. And the lady that I want to go and see is the pastor, Pastor Gray. They've got a side access, and they've got a disabled group that use the side access, and they're picked up in a minibus. And unfortunately, people have been parking vehicles on the side access, restricting this minibus from collecting disabled people. So the police in recent times have been liaising with the council and with a large comprehensive school next door to try and alleviate that situation.
This firm from across the road, they sometimes park as many as 13 cars in one day. And we do have a minibus with a tail lift to take the elders, because many of them are frail. Okay. And when the driver comes to get them up to the entrances, it's rather difficult, because sometimes we have double parking. So if we could get some help along this area, we would be very grateful.
Hello there. You've been broken into, have you?
Yes.
Yeah. Can we come in and have a look?
Yes,
and just see where it's happened. How have they actually got in?
Through the... Well, they haven't actually got in.
They haven't got in. They've
forced
the door. Okay.
They're trying to break in from here, did they?
Pulled all the door apart.
Probably use a chisel or a screwdriver to make holes in there.
Can we go outside?
Yeah.
Did you see anyone acting suspiciously before you went away, or anyone hanging about?
Oh. There was.
There was?
There was about 3 or 4 blokes going up and down with walkie-talkies.
Right.
For somebody with dark brown hair and a red jacket on.
Right, so I'll just come back inside and get some details off you.
There's an alleyway there.
Can we go back upstairs? And... Oh. So what day did you discover you'd been burgled?
Not till this morning.
This morning, and you came back to the house yesterday?
Yes.
And you've only noticed when you've gone downstairs?
Have you been burgled before, have you?
No.
Or was it first time?
First time, yeah.
Right.
I'm all shaky now.
Would you like the victim support scheme to come round and speak to you and help you fill any forms in if need be?
You want to speak to them?
You might help.
I know the police do a very difficult job, but I know that there's good and bad in everything. So I have to say what I know about them. People have got very difficult experiences with some of them, because I know some of them are racist anyway. But I don't take the negative. I always look at the positive ones.
This is what all uniformed police officers are issued with before they go out on patrol. It's what we call a utility belt. There's various items of equipment on the belt. The first one on my left is what we call extendable baton. If we've got any problems, we'll use this to try and restrain people who aren't complying with what we ask them to do. If I can just extend it out. It actually goes out into an extendable or a longer length.
And it's
22 inches long.
Yeah.
It's actually solid metal.
28 years ago, the only thing I was issued with was a truncheon, which was a small wooden stick, and a pair of old-fashioned handcuffs. And with those pieces of equipment, you would expect